Welcome to From Tech Developer to Real Estate Developer. Here you'll go from making ends meet behind a keyboard to living in true freedom by using real estate well. Never having to work a full-time job, report to a manager, or give your adult life to a corporation that probably doesn't care about you. We will give you everything you need for your journey: techniques, principles, real-world experience, and application, filtered through 5 key power principles from my book, People Power, Other People's Money, How to Win, Enjoy, and Reserve. Get ready to take notes. Let's jump into From Tech Developer to Real Estate Developer. Welcome to From Tech Developer to Real Estate Developer. I'm Ivan, and I have another great guest here today, Alberto Bernardini. He started his career as a bilingual business development and supply chain executive. The initiatives he led at his last company provided for $8.5 million in additional sales by increasing profit margins by 80% or more per client. He negotiated reduced transport costs for both domestic and international shipments by 33%. And then he started a real estate career by fleeing the dictatorship in Venezuela to Houston, Texas. Within 18 months, he grew his portfolio to $6.5 million and now has a portfolio of over 200 units across Texas. Alberto, my gosh, welcome to the show, man.
Good morning, Ivan. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Would you like to expand on that kind of shorthand version of your career?
Yes, absolutely. Like many immigrant families, we come to this country for a better future for ourselves, sometimes for professional reasons, political reasons. I still believe with all the changes in the world, we're blessed to be here where you can, express your ideas. If you work hard, you're gonna get the compensation of those efforts. And that's why I came here in the first place, 99.
Awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to hear more about your story. People are going to get a lot of value out of it, I'm sure. So for strangers new to the show, the 5 key power principles are people power, other people's money, winning, enjoying, and reserve. So those are the major sections we're going to go over. So let's start with people power, brother. How did you come to get, first of all, that big old thing when you came over here, starting from scratch, basically? How did you get to so many a big old portfolio like that within 18 months?
Yes, it's crazy, right? Every time I think about it, it makes me sweat and losing some of the hair that I don't have anymore. Well, I think I believe that big dreams are always the result of big teams in life. And that's no different when I had my W-2 job for many years in the petrochemical sector from Venezuela, then here in Houston, Texas. And I still do that same approach with teamwork in my real estate business. The whole journey began when 2008 market crash. Like most people lost significant savings, 401k, and sometimes even worst cases, they lost their homes, their cars, and all the financial crisis that everybody, one way or another, was hurt. And we're talking 2008. That was even before 2020 for the pandemic. So working as a team is a big approach that I still have, like I said, and it goes beyond people that actually participate directly. When I talk about team, I talk not only the partners, people directly working with me, also the power team. So in real estate, like any other endeavor and project, you need good professionals in each area. So you need real estate attorneys, professionals, title companies, people helping you with lending, with survey inspections, all the different aspects of property management, the rehabbers, construction skills, all those are key components of your power team. So that's why I believe in the team.
Okay.
So after the market crash, I said, well, how me, like everybody else, lost almost half of 12 years savings in 3 months. There's something wrong with the picture. So I started researching again, reaching out to building that team on the real estate side to see what's available. There are many, many different ways to make good profits in real estate, like any other industry. I just wanted to select what was the best on my case with the resources of capital, knowledge, and time that I had to still go back to the workforce after I got laid off soon after the 2008 market crash. And it's the best thing happened to me. That totally expanded and changed my vision on how to take control of my financial future and also to put in practice my dreams and goals.
Mm. Oh, wow. So yeah, a lot of people could focus on the bad, but I like how you choose to focus on the good that came out of it. So tell me about that journey and the people you met.
So
To gain
talking
power.
about the combination of the people and the other people resources, or most people know OPM, other people's money, is how can I create a win-win strategy where I can educate and share with people the same principles that I was doing with my own. So after that market crash, I transferred the remaining surviving funds of my 401k to self-direct IRA, and another portion of a family bank, which is, I can expand more, is life insurance with cash value attached to it component. So I was trying to see how can minimize the risk, something new to begin my first, like everybody wants to invest in real estate even today, but they don't know who, when, and how can take them each step of the way. So I built that power team over 1 year. I still have my W-2 job to understand and get to know people, give you the good feeling is not the CV, the credentials, is the people that you want to connect and have the same values, the same vision, like I'm sure you have in your audience. So after doing that, I decided let's do something where I can minimize the risk, leverage my self-direct IRA, buy a very basic foreclosure under market value, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and put it as a rental. So that was called fixed to lease. It's not very popular right now because the average profit margin nationwide before the pandemic, after the pandemic is actually worse, it was $200 a month. So how long can you live, Ivan, with $200 a month?
Not very long, yeah.
You need a lot of houses and headaches to do that.
Yeah.
So in my case, what I did, I bought cash with my self-direct. Some people can do that. If you don't have the option, just leverage other people money. If you show them the opportunity, you show them the return. Capital is always attracted to people with the knowledge, the ethical work to make it happen, and they'll be surprised how many people are looking for deals and good operators like myself.
Yeah.
I did that, generated 18% cash on cash. And I was thinking it was okay because in the stock market 401k IRAs, you can make 20, 25% or more, right? So I was like, well, this is okay. And they told me, no. Wait, listen to me. You make 18% on your money per year, but you have the depreciation, you have the appreciation of the asset, you have the tax write-off, you have the future passive income that you did it one time, you get paid every month. So there are many multiple ways that only real estate gives you that leverage of your dollars to your benefit, not to the bank benefit.
Yeah. Could you
So
tell me about what that year looked like in terms of activities to gain all those people in your network and to gain the deals?
yes, right now it's even better after the pandemic because we can leverage technology like we're doing today. It was just before getting on the recording with you. Every time we have rainy days, snow days, ice days, we can still work and get things done, which it was never heard of before. In Houston, we learned the hard way with hurricanes, right? So we have some contingency plans back in the early 2000s. But yeah, building that team is through networking, reading books, getting to talk to professionals, licensed professionals on what they do, and talk to at least 2 or 3 on each discipline. So they get to know you, you get to know them and see what's possible. Be honest. I think that's the number key. Everybody likes to take new investors from the beginning because they know they can grow with them together. And right now it's very difficult to compete with client acquisition with all the technology and information. So you'll be surprised how true professionals always open to talk to new real estate investors or people that would like to get started with real estate. So after did that for many years, I was evolving to do it on the commercial side. I was still having my W-2 job like everybody else, but needed some people managing professional property management and contractors. So they take care of the tenants, the repairs for me, collecting the rent and all the good stuff, paying the insurance. So I did it after that with self-storage. which is very basic warehouses. There's nothing sexy about it, right? Just concrete, metal buildings.
Yeah.
Actually, you drive in front of some of my property, and so you have no idea how much money they can make.
Mhm.
So that was just about my own specific. I was not dreaming to become a self-storage when I was growing up as a kid. No, what you need to know clear is what you look in terms of low risk, repetitive, predictable. You want cash flow that is steady and growing, and also equity on your property that is growing. So you have a clear exit strategy. You can cash out the equity, buy a second property, or you can sell for profit and buy something bigger. And I always did it with OPM. So I did all these 100% private money, no banks, no loans, no nothing. Sorry about you guys, lenders. I like the lenders. I'm working with some of them now. But when I started, I did it to want to minimize the risk of working with banks. It's very complicated.
Mhm.
And right now it's very expensive with the interest rates.
How did you meet your capital investors?
It's putting the word out, combination of LinkedIn, friends of friends, getting to go into the real estate networking events or any professional events. Every time that you meet somebody, they tell you, what do you do? So you'll be prepared with that very small, honest elevator pitch. Don't exaggerate. Don't say what you don't do. Just be honest and tell them where you're going. That's what people would like to get to listen to the story and the people, sometimes even more the credentials or titles or education that you have. I have to educate them. Some were private lenders into residential, not in commercial.
Mhm.
And I just tell them my story like I'm telling you today. This is how I started. I used my own money, foreclosure, generated cash flow, did it multiple times, learned some creative financing. Some brokers, I told them, hey, this is my bank account. And they were like, where's the money? There's no money. So, well, there's not my money. I'm bringing my lender's money to buy some self-storage property. So anything is possible if you are transparent on where you're going, and they want to see what's in it for them.
Mhm.
You protect their capital with typical, I'm not an attorney, but I have really good attorneys that I recommend. Licensed real estate attorney in your state to show you and your lender what's possible, how everybody's protected, and then what are the possible solutions in case some things changes, like you can extend if the project's taking a little longer, or if you did better than expected, why not make a contribution and tell them thank you so much. Not only here's your capital and your interest, but here's an extra bonus, or sometimes they call it equity kicker, thanking you for believing in me, and I'm looking forward to do business again. So that's how you build that pipeline of people in your real estate journey.
Gotcha. So does that mean you were in lunches and coffees at all the time, every day?
Oh, yes, and you better watch your diet, otherwise you're gonna be going the wrong direction.
Okay.
In addition to that, the other topic I wanted to share with you is, you need to find your why. The family is my fuel of my engine to give them a better life that I did, and it's part of my own life philosophy for becoming as an immigrant and make a better life for them.
Mhm.
So I love the building process of doing something that when I'm not here, God tells me when there's some results and legacy that they can enjoy. So
Yeah.
that's my main, driven force of waking up in the morning, getting things done that way.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's so important because inevitably something is going to go wrong, and your why is going to remind you why you need to stick into the battle and keep moving forward. Oh, tell me about.
I
Oh,
have
go
to practice things go wrong in my work and also in my business. And you always need to share bad news first. And then you share what kind of solutions you have for bad news. Because people, none of us like the bad news. But when we know bad news early and we have potential solutions, that's when people can make a difference and say, okay, Alberto really cares about my money as a private lender. He's treating that money like his own,
Yeah.
protecting my interest, protecting the business. So make sure it's a win-win. Many times, and I was clear with them, they were making more cash on cash return that I was doing as a active, operator, and that I was okay with that because they put in their trust in me. So I need to minimum do what I said I was going to do and better to pay them back and protect their resources so they can come back again and again.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, forecasting and getting ahead of issues and sharing that, like, hey, we got this gigantic leak that happened, or we needed to replace an entire bathroom. Like, that's going to affect the distribution this coming quarter. That's a huge thing to share. And to just kind of stay in the corner and be in shame about it and not communicate, that's going to set you up for failure. And like you said, they're not going to want to do business with you again, because the rubber's going to meet the road. So it's better to get ahead of it, not hide and cower away, basically. So that was a good point. Okay, so we kind of just covered a big old 3 sections jumping around. People power, you covered how you met a lot of people that helped solidify your team quickly, how aggressive networking you are, how consistent in networking you are. That's tying into other people's money or resources. And then we touched on winning also, which involves, I believe, a degree of failure, which we kind of just touched on just now, getting ahead of issues and communicating well. Could you zoom in on that a little bit and tell me about a scenario where a deal did go wrong and what specifically you did?
Yes, I'll give you, and that is something that is relevant more today than ever before. Like I was saying, once we have a dream, and real estate is typical that everybody wants to do it big, do it fast, and generate a lifestyle and passive income. That is great, but let me tell you, somebody has to do the work, and that I'm very happy to be that person, me and my team, to do that work to generate the results to have the passive income, right? Because, Warren Buffett and Bezos, they're not sitting at their desk when they were getting started with the companies. Some of these guys have multiple hundreds of companies and staff to look after, but it's no human possible that you do everything yourself. That's why you need the power team. Mm-hmm. So educating people to show them the benefits of becoming a private lender instead of an equity partner in the deals took me, and still takes me today, some efforts, because the traditional ways that you want to own that tangible physical asset, right? That's my house, that's my building, that's my self-storage. But what if I tell you that you see the biggest high rises in downtown every city in America is not owned by many times the traditional investors. They're usually controlled by private hedge funds and equity funds and banks. Why? Because they know how to make money work for them. So when I teach people at a very early stage and they don't think it's possible because nobody had educated them, if you have limited resources, 10,000, 40, 50,000, it is for some people a lot of money, for some people it's nothing, but let me just, the average John Doe takes a lot of time and effort to save this money. So what if I show them that putting that capital to work protected as a private lender, you can generate a double-digit return and you still go on with your life. You don't have to take the risk on, which people don't know. Once you own a property, you take the assets, but you take the liabilities. So the liabilities could be the insurance, weather damage or tenant damage or some other problems. When you do the private lending, you're 100% protected. That's the operator's headaches. As long as you sign an agreement, promissory note, and you do what's supposed to be done, it's very flexible to become structured terms that is a win-win for the private lender and it's a win-win for me as an operator. And when you match the two, anything is possible. The money exchanges hands and you have a certain capital at a percentage to generate, on average, 12% a year. When was the last time, Ivan, that you were sitting in your desk and you know that you're not going to lose, the capital is protected, and you're going to get 12% a year, 1% a month without doing anything? Never, right? Not even the stock market because of the volatility. So that's how I educate people, to show them the benefits. And then for me as an operator, I pay more interest to them than a bank, but it's more flexible sometimes, especially if you're dealing with distressed houses or buildings that banks are going to say no. They don't say no because it's a bad deal. They say no because it's outside the underwriting guidelines, so it's too much risk. So the way that you minimize risk is you have a knowledge and experience operator like myself. You know what you're doing. You know you can generate that cash flow, that equity, and then you pay them back on a time frame with interest. So it still today takes me a long time because people say, oh, I want a partner. It's like, well, I know you want a partner, but are you willing to sign a $2.5 million loan? They say, no, I want to be a partner. Where guess what? You are a partner with the assets and the liabilities too. So most people coming from the W-2 employee world don't understand that it's nice and it's a great experience to become an entrepreneur and have your own business. But with the glory comes the responsibilities. So the private lending is that hybrid where you put the money working for you as a private lender individually on a local operator. You know each other, the money is protected, or sometimes could be like I'm doing right now out of state, but I have things to show them and validate. Hey, here's the hot closing statement. This is the address. This is what I've done in the last 10 years. You can talk to my lawyer, the title company, these people, this little private lender, this equity partner house. So you make them feel comfortable so they're protected and you can generate that way. So it's a new concept that most people don't understand, and I'm happy to share with them, especially if you are the family bank concept, where you put cash value inside a policy insurance and it becomes an asset that you can borrow from, let's say on example, 5%, and I pay you 10, 12%. So you double your money passively, more than the money is paying you back interest in addition to the real estate profit. So there are multiple ways, and I'll be happy to go over, I don't know if we have time today or next time, where you can, I can share with you my, some online media resources. So you can, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of resources too, and we'll make sure to mention your website and how people can get in touch with you at the end. I did want to touch on a couple things. You mentioned a lot of great points, which is, namely, you touched on active operators. Like, you really got to come to grips with your goals if you want to start an international hedge fund or, real estate fund. Like, because you said, it's going to be work, especially at the beginning. People look at movies and they see the hero, but they don't see all the things that came with becoming that hero first, right? God is not going to just give you something willy-nilly like a lottery winner, and you don't know how to respond to it, so you just lose it all. There has to be some degree of, I'm going to keep going up this mountain. And so I just want to elaborate on that. That was a very good point.
Just a quick second to share. If anybody right now is stressed, overwhelmed, we live in difficult times, inflation, and you feel there's no exit, no way out, and you don't have the money, resources, or the time, try to find, I think it's still available in Netflix, but there's a movie called In Pursuit of Happiness by Will Smith. It's based on true story. If you think you're having a bad time, guess what? If you have food, good health, and shelter, you are way beyond that movie character. I remember, it still gives me chill on my skin, but anything is possible. And he, as a single father with his son, struggled before he found true happiness and abundance. But sometimes the journey on purpose is done like that. So we value who we are and what we can do, because there's a reason why we're here today, Alfaro. You have a mission with yourself, with your family, with, I don't know if you believe it or not, with God.
Yes.
The reason why we're here today sharing a story that is exactly what some people are waiting for before they take the next step and start taking action. So don't feel bad. Don't stay alone. Watch that movie or watch that book, and there's always a better outcome on the other side of adversity and obstacles.
Yes, indeed. I know you're enjoying that content, but I just wanted to personally invite you to the Commonwealth Affordable Housing Fund. If you want to passively earn while also building communities, doing philanthropy even, while getting quarterly distributions and even sharing in the exit about 5 years down the line, then please join us. This used to just be for friends and family, but you could join in now. You could be essentially earning through an expert, which is I, running the investment firm Commonwealth. So if you want to be a part of it and also get access to exclusive events where we go to in-progress construction and I show you how your money is being used actively and how the renovation was just complete and how this is going to help change people's lives, how we negotiated an acquisition. So you could be a part of those events throughout the year and also earn passively. So if you want to be a part of that, please click the link below and I'll let you back to your awesome content. Thanks. And to elaborate even further, it doesn't always have to be obstacles too. If you determine your goals are that you want 150 units and you just want to live off of that with maybe 3 investors, well, you just need 3 investors and how much money you need per year to maintain you and your family. So like you could overcome that initial hump and just live casually the rest of your life if you educate yourself right, prepare yourself right, and have your goals right too. But for me, I do want to keep scaling, so it's going to take work. I'm sure. Is that similar to your goals too, Alberto? You want to keep scaling up?
Yes, I want to keep scaling up and talking about that. You will know in your journey who are because everything in life in nature is a cycle, right? The person you are today is not the person you were 1 year ago or 10 years ago. What I mean is there's some people in your power team that might be here today. They're not going to be there tomorrow, and it's okay. They might not have the same big goals and visions as you do, because just like any professional athletes, it takes work, discipline every single day to reach your goals. So during that time frame of 16 months that we grew up from 0 to 500 doors, 6.5 million, it was not by accident. It was 100% by intentional efforts. But guess what? I was laid off second time. So I became full-time in the business, but I was ready. So don't quit your job or change what you're doing before you know how to generate a cash flow, because you're going to put your family in danger. But it is a process. It takes long hours. People ask me, I don't even remember how many hours I worked between my W-2 job and then the business, weekends and evenings. And it was easy, 120 plus hours per week. But I knew if I didn't do that effort, nothing was going to change. If I don't change, nothing was going to happen. So you take control. Now, you don't have to do it all. Like I said, you can be part of someone else's team with the knowledge who could be that operator, like you said, if you have a clear vision, because not everything is money. Money gives you the lifestyle to make you happy. Some people are happy with $5,000 a month. Some people are happy with $100,000 a month. It's just different goals and dreams. But if you clear vision and divide it in goals, it's always better and more fun to do it as a team.
Indeed, for sure. I wanted to address one thing that rarely comes up when I talk to potential capital investors, but it's probably a good thing to elaborate on. How do you respond to prospects that say, oh, what you went through sounds too good to be true, or the deal you're pitching to me, it sounds too good to be true?
Yes, and that's the case right now with a new development construction that I have here in Houston, Texas. And because I'm doing things that the other people are not doing, I'm okay if, let's say, I invite you to participate on this project and you financially get a better return than me on this project. I'm totally okay with that, because not only I want to prove you that I'm doing what I'm saying, and it's a whole team behind title company, you know, attorneys, everybody, all the professionals, inspection, all the good stuff. But if I do it that way and you prove the people what it is, they will be able to understand why you're doing that specific approach. But again, don't feel offended and take it personally if somebody tells you no, or you're too good to be true, or this sounds like, you know, not a good project. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. You don't need everybody to do all the goals and dreams that you have. And even still today, I have people telling me no, or I need to think about it, or maybe that's not what I'm looking for. And I try to give them a better position before they came and meet with me, even if it's something that is not a financial resource to give them because they're not participating in the project, but give them knowledge, recommendations, or guidance, or just simple opinion based on my very expensive experience with the ups and downs. What would make sense for that person, and I wish them well, and never take it personal because you don't need to please everybody. Not everybody gonna understand what you try to accomplish as a entrepreneur and real estate investor or any big project that you have if it's technology related, especially technology. That there's a lot of people with a high IQ with a low EQ. So those are people that are very hard to have people skills to connect, and that's fine. They have a place specific on somebody else's team.
Yeah.
Or they can have their own team with people similar to who they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, some people like vegetarian food, some people don't like it, so it's totally fine. You just gotta find who's your kind of people that you like to start building relationships and having wins together.
Yeah. There's even tech executives I know that they want to invest and they just want to keep their job too because they still get a lot of joy out of it. And that's just what their meaning is. And that's totally fine too. Like you don't necessarily have to jump into this because all these YouTube videos are saying you got to be an entrepreneur today or tomorrow. You got to be an overnight success. Like don't let other people's story determine your story.
Yeah, because for example, I can tell you that very happy one of the properties I still own and operator right now was number 2 back in 2016. That's more than 300% market valuation in 8 years. That's not normal, but it will come as a result if you do multiple discipline, steady work. Those home runs are going to come, but you don't need a home run to make a profitable business. You do singles. I don't know if you like baseball or not, but I'm just telling, you know, the analogy like sports. You don't need to have, you know, thousands and thousands of properties to make it happen. Maybe 1 or 2 houses or buildings is enough for you and your team, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so we kind of just covered the power section. People power other people's money, resources, and winning. How do you enjoy what you've built, brother?
Yes, I really enjoy it. And before I forget, because I have a brand new way to share what I've been doing over the years in social media. So we're very happy to launch the Family Banking Investor in YouTube. And as I get more resources, I'll keep in touch to share with you more of the efforts and content and documents that we're doing to bring value to your audience and show them that it is possible. It's going to take work, but why not? We work anyways for somebody else. Why not work for our families and our dreams? It's totally worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's build wealth as a family together.
Exactly.
Okay, I love that. So what about on the personal side? How do you enjoy what you built? You said one of your whys was your family. Tell me about how you enjoy time with your family.
Yes, I'm very fortunate that I love my kids. One is in college and another one's going to graduate high school very soon. So it's nice to see how we can have conversations that I wish I had with, you know, my prior generations at this age, because life is getting more complicated and difficult nowadays. So I would like to share as much as I can while I'm still alive and healthy so they can have a better future. But yeah, definitely quality time, enjoying meals and cooking together is a big portion of the reason why we do this. And also planning what is the next family trip that we can have. More than anything is memories and moments of happiness. That's what it's all about at the end.
Yeah. What was interesting, I don't know if you know the director Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, yes, I love it.
I was listening to a video of his children talking, and they said that their favorite time with their father was every single evening was dinner at an outside table, right outside the backyard. And I was like, huh, I did not expect that from a timeless director, that he would like not let anything interrupt his family time, his dinner time with his family.
I'm gonna say something that some people don't like it, what I do still, but this good friend of ours, it's a double-edged sword. So yeah, when you have those quality time, please don't start, keep staring at your cell phone and enjoy quality time conversations because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow and for how long that's going to happen. Sometimes even the happiest moments when you go back in life, you didn't knew that those were the moments that you wish you could have again, and you had less money, less accomplishments, and even a more simple life. And for me, that's what it's all about. It's a big priority. Some people don't like it. I've been trying to call you and text you for the last so many hours. And I said, did somebody die? I'm not a doctor. So,
Mhm.
okay. Okay. I understand some people have the passion and the urgency, but you try to educate and tell people you have business time and you also definitely need to have time for family, your spirituality or religion that you do, and also inner self meditation to go inside because all the answers are already inside. I'm just refreshing something that you and your audience already know, just bringing back to go back and see what makes you happy and what's your main goal.
Yes, indeed. I've been thinking lately that I think I might go extreme and leave all my tech devices, like especially my phone, at the office, and just have a light phone that I have back at the house. A light phone is what they call like a dumb phone, where you could only text and call, basically flip phone style.
Even today, I'm buying paper books that people don't understand. And I tell myself, well, remember, I went to college back in the 90s. There was nothing online. And the high tech was a green screen with, I don't know if you remember, Windows didn't ever existed back then. It was Oracle and all the keyboards like a typewriter machine. So technology has evolved in a good way, and I like it and I embrace it, but don't let the technology be the driving force of your life, your passion, and your journey because life is too short and it's always totally worth it to enjoy and slow down a little bit, I would say.
Yeah. To that effect, my real estate, when I was getting my real estate license, my instructor opened my eyes to the reality that handwriting with the pen and paper is actually better to remember something versus any other thing. Next in line after that would be typing. Next in line after that would be just seeing something like a PowerPoint. So there's definitely a big value to having a hard sheet of paper and pen. So, all right, that's how you enjoy yourself. So let's go ahead and move on to reserve. There's many different aspects of reserve: financial, emotional, physical, etc. What's the
Yeah,
latest reserve
yeah.
that you've been working on?
The reserve, and I have to thank recently my son is the driving force, right? I call him my own coach in many areas, including the health and fitness and eating healthy. Everything that we do is related to the good health that we have, and the good health is directly related with good food. So trying to eat as healthy as possible. I know during the holidays was very hard, but now it's beginning of the year, new cycle, new life. If you do the balance, you're gonna sleep better, have more energy, be more productive at work, and where you're not working, be more happy and in the moment presence, no technology and cell phone with your loved ones. I think that's a number one priority. Number two, like I mentioned, the family bank is a big vehicle, not only for borrowing, for real estate investing to multiply resources. I also have the driven force to make it happen to my future dreams and goals, not only the lifestyles, how I would like people to remember me when I'm no longer here. So that takes long time and discipline. And some people don't have that vision of because they don't have kids or they don't have another generation to think about. But there's always church, charities, and some other community purposes that why not give. I don't have to say give it all away back, but at least help the ones that need the help. Because if you look back, and I can guarantee you without knowing you, the person who are you today somehow, some way is related to somebody taking the time to help you coach you and support you. Why not giving back when we have enough abundance to help others? And so that's how I see the reserve in both financial resources, legacy, and future lifestyle planning.
Hmm. So something that's coming to mind is researching how, like to an extreme level, how things affect your body. And one thing that came to mind was I didn't know until a few years ago that the treadmill and even just running outside on concrete it could actually affect your joints pretty bad. So I just want to throw out there that an elliptical is actually even more effective and has more longevity for your body. So that may be a little extreme, but you know, think about it. You want your knees to last past your late 30s, so take care of them by using
Yes,
the
I like the
proper
elliptical
machines.
because you can do resistance and it's similar to hiking. I've done hiking in real world and
Mhm.
it's so much fun because you don't feel the exercise and you enjoying the view. So it's a very fun way to get out. Unfortunately, there's not many hiking places in Houston, so I need to get out of town to do that.
Yeah, and that's also to tie it in, good for the joints because dirt compacts, it moves with your body, so definitely good. Check out hiking too.
Yeah, and the other reserve is we reserve and we have to retrain our brains, our ideas and projects. Sometimes we come across a good opportunity, but maybe it's not the best time. Or when we have the time, let's circle back. What was that opportunity that I was thinking, or maybe, or talking, or share with Ivan? Let's sit down and have coffee again to revisit those projects. Sometimes they come where we're not ready. If we're ready, don't think about it twice and jump on it. If you're not ready, think about when will be the good time to circle back and go and do that.
That's a
You
good point.
know?
Having like a discernment reserve. If you're in fear or shame or any sort of toxic feeling about something, it's probably not the right time to move on it. If you're feeling really ill-equipped, you don't have the right team, yeah, don't force yourself into something emotionally just because it may perceivingly look good and you might lose out. Like there's billions of houses. If you lose out on one or one building, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. I mean, I always remember one of the coaches, I was still an employee back then, but it was so simple, so powerful that we get what we tolerate. So that means when we take things into the wrong personal, emotional side, we don't see the true value and lesson on that opportunity. And also we might close the door for somebody that maybe is not having a good day and it has nothing to do with you. Why not give them back a smile or chill or a bad joke, but giving back something without the intention of receiving something back, but just to be keeping the harmony with somebody else. And when you do that, people not only be grateful, you'll be surprised what they come back afterwards. And maybe something that you were not having an answer or looking for that expertise or discipline could be him, she, or somebody they know. And that goes such a long way.
Indeed.
The numbers never lie. That's another principle that I always do. Don't become motivated buyer or motivated seller. Just let the numbers run and tell you, I'd rather say no, sleep well, than become a motivated buyer or seller. And then you're going to lose sleep and have a lot of stress for things that are not working financially in your favor. For you, I mean, you and I meant the whole team, right? The partners and everybody involved on that project or
Yeah.
that property, that specific deal.
Yeah, it brings to mind a deal like a year ago I was working on, and one particular guy had plenty of capital to take it to the finish line, and I could have agreed to all his terms, but it was more than I was willing to put out. Basically, I was going to be the active operator. He wouldn't have to do much, if anything, at all, and it would be basically higher interest, higher giving up of equity. And I was just like, this doesn't feel good. Um, I'm I'm the one doing more, and I have more experience in this world. But what was it? There was something in specific that I really didn't want to do it for. Well, actually, I compared it to the loss. Like, do I want to give up so much of myself or just lose the $5,000 earnest money? And to me, I was like, I'll just give up the earnest money. And if God wants me to have this deal later down the line when I have the capital again, then he'll save it for me. And sure enough, to this day, that property is still available. So if I do raise that capital in the next couple of months, which is a high possibility as I get into capital raising season, then I'll probably have an even lower price position, so lower risk, because they've been trying to sell it for so long. So I'm glad I didn't emotionally allow myself just to try to get it to the finish line to give up so much.
Yeah, I applaud your decision. And yeah, you have to learn when to say no or take small losses, because you did lose that earnest money. But if you move forward, you're gonna get yourself into, you're creating your own future nightmare, because you didn't like the deal, didn't like the terms, working with that funding capital partner. Maybe the it was not a clear exit on the back end. It's not worth it. There are plenty of opportunities everywhere. That's the other thing. Once I get to know people conversation and they start talking the win-losing language, they win, I lose. Guess what's going to be my response? Well, being treating them nice and sending blessings, but said, have fun with your project. Talk to you again. Some people that are telling you up front, that should be a red flag signal, is not matching your values and your ultimate goal. And I would prefer working the same way I am, with more like a giving without expecting an exchange. Of course, if it's a business, we'll put it on writing, because there's responsibilities, discipline, and priorities, and who's doing what and how's this going to work. But if somebody's trying to take from you from the beginning, that's a big signal. Be nice, treat them well, and tell them that it's not meeting my criteria, or that's not the type of deal that I'm looking for, and just be honest and say no.
Yeah. All right. Well, any last tidbits you want to share as we wrap up, brother?
No, I appreciate a lot of the conversation, and you made me remember how nice it is to have the power, the resources, the team, and the whole connection of those factors. And it's very nice to remember that I was applying even before meeting you, some of the principles you guys preach. So definitely it's the way to go. We're entering a very nice opportunity in the next, in my opinion, 2 years, especially on the commercial real estate side. There are opportunities on different levels, different markets. And like I mentioned, don't hold yourself back because you think you need to own, a 500 apartment multifamily, the first deal, because it is possible, but the likelihood of happening is very little because of many restrictions. Why don't you start with something less resistance to begin with, and share to meet the team that is going to be your companion in your journey for years to come. Some people stay, some people are not going to stay, and that's fine. You keep moving forward.
Yeah. One of the biggest investments I did leaving my job in 2017 was actually a limited partner passive investor scenario. I didn't have any interest in the title ownership, but I did learn from them, and I was involved in a pretty big deal just by investing. So definitely recommend it. Okay, how could people get involved with that project you're preparing for?
Yeah, we are going to be launching a webinar upcoming. It's a brand new ground-up constructions for multifamily in Houston. Very excited about it. I don't think we have the final website updated yet, but we're going to be posting at the Family Bank YouTube channel shortly how to get more information. Very excited because I wish I had the opportunity when I started 2012. And that's how I see it. If it makes more sense that I will be sitting on the other side of the table and making the decision to become part of this, that's the same way that I like to be treated. So it's going to be a win-win for both private lending development short-term, and also long-term cash flow write-off accumulation and passive income in the same project. It's great. So I'll keep you posted on that one.
Excellent. We'll make sure to link your YouTube on the show notes at the bottom here too.
Yes,
And,
please.
yes. And how could people reach out to you on your main website?
Yes, a good way to get a hold of me is on my Facebook. It's just my name, Alberto Bernardoni.
Okay.
And also on LinkedIn, he has my name. We're working on the other platforms, but like I mentioned, this is very recent for me to get a online presence in all the other platforms. You can see the gray hair, right? TikTok and the Instagram. I'm reaching new message on those. It's in the progress, but not ready yet. I'll keep you
Yeah.
posted.
You've been used to your internal network. Now you want to scale it up to the outside.
Exactly. I did all this back in 2012. Nobody was doing any of this, and the only one that I knew for professional purposes was the LinkedIn, right? For networking and clients and suppliers, or in job searching when I got laid off. But yeah, recently it's a good opportunity to share more information. I'm very happy that you're gonna be top of my list when we're ready for that webinar.
Thanks, brother. And yes, I just want to reiterate what he just said. Have as much networking as you can. There's nothing like that personal face-to-face. There's even a attorney I read about in the newspaper the other day, really successful, renowned in Atlanta, but still to this day, he has 3 breakfasts per day, every morning, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., with a bunch of different people. The dude is constantly networking, even though at this point he doesn't even have to.
Yes, I believe, like I told you, the big dreams is always big teams, and you never know what's possible because we create our own destiny and we will attract who we are. So it might be just around the corner, something that you've been waiting for, and that people, that person, that coffee or breakfast or networking event will get you closer to that opportunity. Absolutely, I strongly believe on that too.
Sure.
Thank you,
Well,
brother.
thank you, Alberto. And this has been another episode of From Tech Developer to Real Estate Developer. Have an amazing day and catch you in the next episode. Thank you for joining us on another episode of From Tech Developer to Real Estate Developer. I hope you got a lot of return on investment for your time today, and I encourage you to share it with other people so that they could also get returns with this valuable education to invest in real estate. We're also sharing this free education because we want to help people learn how to invest so that they could also create more affordable housing units. We have a great goal of creating 2.5 million affordable housing units by 2047, and free education like this is a big part of that. So by you sharing, you are a part of the equation to create those affordable housing units. So I can't wait to see the end of the road that we're going to achieve together. Have an amazing and blessed day.